Hello and welcome to another Puzzling Time video. Today I'm going to be showing people the oldest puzzle in my collection, the Perplexity Puzzle, and I'll also show you how to solve that because it's quite a rare puzzle and it's not something that I see very often at all. But whilst getting that puzzle out, I thought this was a good idea to discuss a little bit about the history of puzzles. Now I will do a few videos where I go much more in depth with the history of puzzles, but one thing you'll realise if you look at puzzle books is a lot of ideas and a lot of types of puzzle have been around for a long time. In fact, some designs have been around for well over 100 years. Some puzzles today have become a bit more sophisticated. Things like SD puzzles are a bit more sophisticated than they used to be. Burr puzzles with twists and turns in, they're much more sophisticated. But ultimately, burrs have been around for a long time. Packing puzzles have been around for a long time. Detanglement puzzles or wire puzzles have been around for a long time. So these kind of puzzles, I thought, well, I'll get a few of those out on the desk, not just because they're nice and shiny, but because, well, actually they've been around for a long time now, and it's worth not forgetting that this was the original entertainment. Families would sit around with a collection of these metal puzzles, these nail puzzles, and actually take turns solving them. It's great fun. They're cheap to pick up. They're fun to do. You can actually get some quite complicated ones as well. You can get ones with a little bit of a funky design on, so they're not all just symmetric pieces. And you know, the top quality pieces you can get include ones from Hanayama, so they are still making, you know, these exact kind of puzzles. So don't forget your metal puzzles. It's a great category and a great fidget toy to always kind of have in your pocket. People understand exactly what they're meant to do with those. So let's have a look at 3 old puzzles I currently have in my collection. Now this one was sent to me and it'll be given away in a giveaway soon. This is just a really, really old burr puzzle. So it's obviously an advertisement for some kind of headache caffeine pills. So, but it's just a lovely kind of burr puzzle, really old wood. I'm going to have to put it together at some point just to see how it all fits together. It comes in this beautiful little box. If anyone knows any information about that, I'd love to find out a bit more information about that. This puzzle is not ridiculously old. It's from the 80s, but the one of the earliest plastic puzzles I've got. It's actually just a bunch of pieces. Obviously, the solution can be taken out there. It's from West Germany. So these pieces are a very strange kind of plastic. It's almost sounds and feels a little bit glass-like at times. But the idea is obviously to put the pieces together without the aid of the solution there. And it's a really nice little puzzle, and it's one that you can kind of give to you know, younger children to kind of have a go at and see if they can piece it together. It takes a bit of logic, but it's a nice solid puzzle that's obviously been around for 40 years or so. This is a very old nut and bolt puzzle, and although it's a very old nut and bolt puzzle, you can still buy nut and bolt puzzles that use this exact mechanism. This is a tiny little version. It's probably from the 1950s. I'll have to again research a little bit more about this. But there we go. It's certainly maybe 60s, but it's a very old antique puzzle. It's always nice to have these little antique puzzles in your collection. You can tend to pick them up fairly cheaply on auction sites such as eBay. And it was eBay where I got what I want to talk about here, which is the oldest puzzle in my collection. It is the Perplexity Puzzle. Now this Perplexity Puzzle in my hands here is well over 100 years old. And you can tell it's a little bit kind of mottled and scratched up. And the idea of perplexity is we get this in the light. We've got the word perplexity there, and it's just to put these tokens in the right order. So it doesn't take a lot of realization to get to the point where you think, actually, I don't seem to be able to do this. I don't seem to have enough space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a spoiler link up here now, spoiler tag, and I'm going to show you how to solve this very old puzzle that took me a long time to solve. So this puzzle, the first thing I realized is, look, I've got to fill this section down here. So I've got to get the Y and the T. So let's fill in some pieces, and I'll stick the Y up there, and I'll get these pieces down here, and then I go to push the Y past the T and it won't go, and the T won't slide down here, so I don't seem to be able to have enough space to get that T down no matter what I do. And the trick to this is that although these pieces all look perfectly made or perfectly central, they're not actually all central. And if we find the right combination of pieces, which I think is the R, the X, and the I, it may work with other pieces, but these ones I know it works with. That is the only combination of pieces there where this T piece, and this has to be in the correct orientation as well. I think the T faces this way, should click down into this little gap. The Y can then slip past, and the Y is in place. I can push that T back up. I get it in the right orientation. It's quite an old puzzle, it's quite fiddly. There we go. I've got the T, and now it is just, it's pretty simple to get these pieces in the right place. So the I and the X, I've only got two to fill in here. I can probably get that E in place, and I'll deal with the left-hand side. So P, E, R, there's the R, oh, P, there it is. I need to get the L there, so I'll just switch those around. And there we have it. Perplexity, all spelt out in the correct order. So it's a wonderful little puzzle. It's actually very, very difficult to solve. And when I was playing this, I was sure there must have been some way of sneaking one piece past the other. But it took a lot of trial and error to find that one piece that was just made just slightly off center. Because if you look on the back here, it looks like they've all been welded centrally. And then get that in the right place. That's the oldest puzzle in my collection. Well over 100 years old, painted in 1909, I think. They made a few different versions of this, but if you can get one online, they do come up on eBay occasionally. Get hold of one. It's a fantastic puzzle to put in your pocket, mix it up, pass it to a friend, and watch them struggle for hours on end. It really is good fun. So thank you for watching this video on some of the older style puzzles. I'm going to do a video or two actually on the history of puzzles, wire puzzles, maybe some bottle puzzles, burr puzzles, just to kind of enlighten a few people who maybe don't know kind of where puzzles come from or why they have their names, etc. Thanks for watching. If you want to see videos on the history of puzzles, then please give me a like and a thumbs up and I'll know to do that. Otherwise, that's bye for now.